r/ask Reddit. What is something you've done that most people haven't? Had someone buy me a tank of gas because they liked my t-shirt. I am a 26-year-old white male and he was a 30-something-year-old Hispanic man. And the shirt was cream colored with a big picture of a dog with the bold words "chow" under it. It was 10:30 AM on a Saturday and he and his friend, who spoke no English, were only getting candy and paying with a $50. He bought a Baby Ruth, handed the clerk $20 for me, left and got into his red Suburban with big chromed out rims and drove away. Happened at the first gas station after crossing the Golden Gate Bridge going north. There's too much detail in this story for it to be fabricated. Played a dead body on CSI Miami. I watch for you guys breathing when my wife watches procedural shows. Is there a garter or something? Or are you just told to hold your breath? It's almost impossible, and generally unsafe, to reliably hold your breath throughout each take. We're coached to breathe very shallowly during the scene. I dislocated my own thumb by missing whilst clapping. This reminds me of my ex whose wrist broke when she lifted a jug of Pepsi in Pizza Hut. God bless her brittle little bones. Used my turn signals to indicate my intentions while driving. Let me one-up you. I did that once, in a BMW. I received a happy birthday tweet from an astronaut on the International Space Station. Messages from an astronaut to a small device in your hand feels quite surreal yet rewarding. Was a part of a unicycle team and competed at state, national, and world competitions in 5th grade. I call bullshit. You have to win regional before competing at state. I'm pretty sure that no other school in his region had a ducking unicycle team. Been abandoned at a hospital at birth. It all started when I was born and neither of my parents showed up. Won a spelling bee. Some skills there never lost. Shook Bill and Hillary Clinton's hands directly after vomiting. Why were they vomiting? Gone for a hike every day, without fail, since the 1st of January, 1998. How? Need more information. He gets out of bed, then goes hiking, every day. Fast roped out of a helicopter onto the flight deck of a naval ship. I always wanted to ask, when you're sitting in the back of the helicopter, with the doors open, are you just hanging on or are you tethered to something? How do you keep from falling out? You're tethered in. If you're a crew chief or a gunner, you have a giant belt that goes around your torso and attached to that is a tether. If you're in a transport helicopter, there are actual seats with harnesses. When you fast rope out of the back of those, you get out of your seat into a line. When fast roping out of a smaller bird, there is a different kind of tether. Think of a really strong bungee cord with a clip at the end. You're tethered in until you grab the rope and then your buddy behind you or the crew chief will unclip it from you and you're out the door. Toasted marshmallows over a lava flow. Hiked up to a volcano in Guatemala, where there were a few live lava flows just off the side of the trail. Great place to dispose of any unwanted jewelry or covetous albinos. Badmouthed Bernie Sanders on Reddit. Played in a BCS bowl game. What instrument? Where's that list of burn units? I played trumpet in a BCS bowl game so I guess I should be offended. Performed stand up to a room of over 100 people when the previous act was dragged off stage for being racist. 2 things. I was born dead, having stopped breathing and my heart stopped and shit while I was coming out. I also shat in the womb. It went in my ear. I'm deaf in that ear now. I threw a spear in the air and took out an airplane with 80 people on it. I used to shoot competitively. This happened on a pretty regular basis as I was training. It morphed from badass when I was a beginner to bittersweet as time went on. Elation the first few times and then it's just damn it. Arrows are expensive. Hope I can salvage one of them. Grumble grumble. First time it happened though, I'll never forget that. I have seen an unassisted triple play. John Valentine, Red Sox, and a perfect game. David Cone Yankees. 2 of the rarest things in Major League Baseball. I would guess that there aren't very many people who aren't in the business of baseball, players, coaches, sports writers, who have seen both. I think at the times they happened there were about 13 of each ever. Sailed the Bahamas as part of a venture crew with the Boy Scouts. I'm talking crewing the boat, hoisting lowering sails, steering, The whole deal. Slept on deck. Woke up with the sun for a week. It was an amazing experience. I once pet a bald eagle. Pictures don't do them justice. Those are massive birds. Not died. Most people in history have died. Been on The Price is Right. Denied sex with Up's mom. Bull ducking shit. Ran a Tough Mudder, then drove to the venue where my band was playing and played a set of heavy metal still in my mudder clothes. Most intense day ever. There's got to be some kind of metalhead triathlon where after playing the set you have to carry your gear up an icy mountain path or something. Hot box to igloo. Shame this is gonna get buried way down in the comments cause it was awesome and more people should do it. Moored a 200 plus ship alongside another ship at anchor. Had, and survived, brain surgery. Worn chainmail. I knew a guy in class who introduced himself saying his hobby was making chainmail. I thought he meant writing and circulating chain letters and was like, this a-hole. Graduated high school twice because of a technicality. I have 2 valid high school diplomas. And because I also completed grad school, I have more degrees than most y'all beaches. Get money. Stood in the hole where Saddam was found. I deep fried a toaster strudel once. Attended 7 or 8 autopsies at once. To elaborate, this was an elective subject, musculoskeletal disease, in my final year of my bachelor's degree where we spent a few hours at the morgue here in Sydney. They had a room full of tables with bodies and we had to look around at the blokes doing their work and read a case study on each of the dead people. The first table was an autopsy that was also attended by 2 police officers who were taking photos as they were trying to establish whether it was accidental or manslaughter. The medical examiner, think that's what we call people who do autopsies here, was incredibly informative and the police officers were also good in answering the questions we had. There was a body of a person who had committed suicide. The body was on one table and the severed head was on another. That was pretty ducked up and I can still picture pretty clearly when they were removing the towel off of where their head should have been. There was a bodybuilder whose organs were massively oversized. Was pretty incredible to see. A few other random cases and an unfortunate one of a homeless guy that wasn't found for a few days so his body smelled pretty bad with all the decomposition that had occurred. That was the only one where I asked nothing and moved on very quickly. The smell was too much. I was a surrogate and carried 2 children for a couple that could not have kids of their own. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.